Welcome back to the channel, and I'm here today with what I hope will be a fun little comparison. So this is a Guild Aristocrat. As you can tell, it has some jazzier vibes, and it's chambered to the point of basically being semi-hollow with no F-holes. But it can rock, as evidenced by the fact that Keith Richards at one point played a vintage one. So what I'm going to test is how it sounds with the stock Roundwound strings, which are Diodario EXL 115 nickel wound medium strings. That's an 11 to 49 gauge set, compared to these Ernie Ball Slinky Flatwound strings, which are an 11 to 48 gauge set. I could not find ones that were not more expensive than what I wanted to get that were 11 to 49 in the Flatwounds. So basically, round wound strings like these are generally thought to be a little brighter in tone, and what you would find on the vast majority of the electric guitars that you would purchase stock. Flatwounds are supposed to have a warmer, jazzier type of tone and a different feel. I have never with any intent played Flatwounds that I can remember. I'm sure I played guitars with them, but in fact, I know I have, but it's never been something I've sat down and thought I am playing Flatwounds or like a conscious choice. So I thought this would be a fun test to see if it would bring out the jazzier side of this guitar and how I like the feel of it and how I like the sound. Now, the feel, I can only tell you what I end up feeling, but I am going to play some sound samples, and you're not going to know which is which. Some clean sound samples, throw on some overdrive for some, put on some delay, and see if you can tell the difference. And a lot of times, turns out that maybe the differences aren't as big as what our preconceived notions might think of what, say, Flatwound should sound like. So this is just a fun little test. See how it does. And once we get these sound samples, I'll let you know my thoughts and what I thought about the difference in the feel. And we are back. So, with no further ado, set A of the strings were the Roundwounds, and set B were the Flatwounds. The difference in the sound, while noticeable, was honestly not as much as I thought it was going to be. And it was exactly what you would expect. The Roundwounds were a little brighter, a little bit louder, and the Flatwounds, which are on here at the moment, were a little bit more mellow. That's the cliched word. Not quite as much volume. I thought there was a bigger difference in the feel, but still probably not as much as I thought. I actually like them. I would prefer the Roundwounds on most of my guitars, but I think for the moment at least I'm going to leave these on this one because it's a different sort of vibe with this guitar than what I'm going for with a Telecaster or a Les Paul. And I think it suits it well. It's just different. And if you've not played them before, and again, like for example, I can think of a guitar in the shop I played recently that had them. I mean, it's not like it's a world of difference. Different, yes, but not a world of difference. And if you're wondering what the Flatwound means, there's a flat ribbon that is wrapped around the round core of the string, and that's where it gets its name. I'm showing a close-up of these strings at the moment, and that is compared to what you're probably familiar with, the Roundwound strings, which I'm now showing you a picture of, the strings that are currently on my G&L ASAC Classic. So I think that if you're not a jazz player, and you're just looking for a little bit something different, maybe take your playing to a slightly different place, I think this is a great thing to try. There was an Ask Zach video from a while back where he did this with a Telecaster, and he was not a fan of the Flatwound strings. And for me personally, not being a jazz player, I don't think I would put them on one of my Telecasters. Now, if you were a jazz player, it'd be perfect, I think. But on this type of guitar, I really do think it brings out its jazzier elements. Another advantage to Flatwounds, there's usually not as much string noise when you're doing slides and things like that. Really, I mean, I enjoyed trying something different with them. Again, I'm definitely not putting them on all my guitars, and they are a little bit more expensive, I would say, in part because they're less common and maybe a little bit more costly to make. I believe that this set, I think, off the top of my head, it was like $19, which, you can get a depending on where you're shopping and if they're on sale, you can get a set of regular Ernie Ball Slinkies for like, what, $6 maybe. So they are expensive. But definitely worth a try, especially like me, I'm doing some recording at the moment, and to get a little bit different sound and different feel to take me to a different place, I think these are going to be good. In fact, I can say they are good because I've already recorded something with them other than for this video. So if you have any questions, please leave them below. Please like and subscribe. And until next time, keep on rocking.